Hello, you've reached Nick.
Look, everybody out here.
I'm unable to answer the phone at this time. Please leave your name, number, a brief message.
Everyone out here getting their grass cut.
I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
All these landscapers out here. Look at.
At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, you may hang up or...
Just, hey, everybody out here cutting grass, and there's enough grass for everybody to go around. So, they going off, they're taking off, everyone's taking off to go cut some grass, and we're taking off.
Don't wanna complicate ya.
What's up, YouTube? Alright, so it's been a long time coming, and I know you've been waiting for this. So I'd like to give a big shout out, a huge shout out to Carter. Carter, you've been patiently waiting. You've been asking me to do a video from basically start to finish. I did everything but do the blowing off the driveway because, yeah, I was tired. So here you go, Carter. Here's the video on the tall grass. This is, I told you I was going to do a video from a regular yard, just regular cut. I did better. I gave you this massive overgrown grass, so buckle up. Here we go. I'd like to say thanks, Carter, for watching my channel, and let's get it in.
Hey, Lawntrepreneur, Mr. Producer here, and boy, am I thrilled to announce new air times for the Lone Star Lawn Talk podcast. You'll now be able to enjoy our conversations about business, equipment, and life revolving around the green industry 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Andrew and fans of the show want to hear from you, so leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Shoot us topics that you want to hear and even be a guest on the show. Just reach out through our social media and email, and we'll have those links in the show notes. Andrew and I both thank you for letting the Lone Star Lawn Talk podcast be a part of your listening schedule. Be blessed, friends, and keep that axe sharp. Hello and welcome to the Lone Star Lawn Talk podcast. Your host, Andrew Martinez, has 13 seasons in the lawn care and landscaping industry. This show is designed to be a beacon podcast for the green industry professional. Our weekly series is geared to help you improve best practices and avoid pitfalls, and will add to the axe sharpening arsenal for your business and personal life. Here's your host, Andrew Martinez.
Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Lone Star Lawn Talk podcast. I am Andrew, your host. Thanks again so much, as I always would say, beginning salutation. If this is your first time listening, welcome. If this is your umpteenth time joining in, it's always a pleasure to have you. I hope you all get something out of our ranting episodes here as we talk about life, guns, and lawn care. Well, I better retract the other because I want this episode to get out into the airwaves. But guys, I hope y'all are doing well. I trust the season is getting kicked off for you. It's beautiful down here in the Lone Star state of Texas. Everything is greening up, and we're working through our first full-time week in lawn mowing and the outdoor maintenance on landscapes right now. But today, before I get too spreadered on, I have a special guest. I've been wanting to have him come on for a little while now. I've kind of been Facebook stalking him for the last few weeks, and we've actually never met. We've been friends on Facebook. I've watched his business grow. We kind of chime in on each other's stuff here and there, and he's done me a really good favor by coming in and being a guest on the show. I want to welcome Dante, and I want to just let him give y'all the lowdown on what he does, and we'll get to know him here over the next few minutes. So get engaged well, put your listening hats on, as my grade school teacher would say, and let's see if we can't get some wealth of knowledge out of our conversation with Dante. Dante, welcome to the show, my friend.
What's up? How's it going? Thanks for the channel.
Yeah. Well, I know it's you were telling me off air. It's a new thing for you to do, and I could have swore I heard you on a couple episodes, over on some other shows a while back, but maybe it's just a different person. But I appreciate you taking the time to come on and hang out with the listener and preach to other lawn care pros out there just like yourself, and talk about struggles, talk about good times. But before you dive into the meat of the show, man, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? Just kind of let them know who you are, where you're coming from, kind of something new that's going on, and what got you into the lawn care business.
I do the long version, but a short version of how I got into it. And my name is Dante, aka Triple D. I'm from Michigan, born in Detroit, and I've been all over Michigan. Michigan's not very big. I took a calculated guess, and I decided to sell my house, sell my business, sell everything, and move to Georgia, where I have no family, no friends, no nothing. It took me about 3 years to make this decision. I just don't like the weather, don't like the snow, so I decided to just do it. Leave the space. If I'm going to do the lawn care seriously, I put all my coins in one bucket, picked up, and left. So now I'm here in Georgia, and the only reason, the way I started my lawn care was we did a traveling team for the kids at the basketball back in the day. This was way before lawn care. I was at Walmart. We did a traveling team. The kids needed to make some money to do the weekends, so we got in a minivan and a push mower and grabbed a couple of basketball kids, and we went and started pushing mowing lawns for like $25. People call that lowballing, but I didn't know because I wasn't trying to do a lawn care business. We were just trying to make money for the basketball because I was pitching money out of my pocket, and I couldn't do it all the time. So I started doing that. People start calling us back. More people start calling us back. Next thing I know, I'm getting a minivan, I'm selling the Cadillac, buying a truck, and next thing I know, I got a full-blown lawn care service and didn't even realize it.
That is awesome, dude. Well, I love to hear that. And while I followed you, I don't remember ever seeing or hearing that on your Facebook page. But it's funny because go ahead. No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
If you go to my YouTube and my Facebook, go all the way back to the beginning when I built.
That's awesome.
I built my first trailer out, and it was a snowmobile trailer where it tilted.
Okay.
And I built that to carry behind the van, and then I outgrew it. So like, if you go way back in the time, you'll start seeing the minivan, and you'll start seeing the old school setup. Like that's where it started.
That's awesome. So what we're going to do is here at the end of the show, we'll have you drop your taglines where everybody can find you on social media. And what I like to do, I'll actually put hyperlinks at the bottom of the show notes. So when people listen to this episode, all they need to do is hit the one link, and they'll fly right to what you're talking about, and they'll learn more about you. So the reason why I kind of put a spotlight on that is because I too, that's exactly how I started, man. Started out of a minivan, charging $25 a cut. It's actually lower than that, bro. It was like $20 a cut, guaranteed.
Get out of here. You know what I did because I didn't have a weed eater?
What's that?
The boys hated it. I had a Black and Decker hedge trimmers with the 3 little blades, and it just
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
House, and I used that to get around the trees real quick, and I used that to get around everything. And then,
wow, dude, you gotta see. That's what makes you a hoss, though. That's what makes for great stories, and it makes good look back on stories. It's like, man, I started at the bottom, now we're here, right? And it's like, oh my god, it's. What I didn't. I was kind of that classic guy where I had an old, I started at least with a few power tools. Like I had a Home Light brand hand blower. I had a old high school weed eater, a John Deere weed eater, and then a home use Husqvarna mower. And as my new friend in the business, Cornell Mack with Mack Landscape would say, you and I, Dante, we were Dan's in the van.
I don't know. I just wanted to get that $20. I was tired of paying out my pocket, and it was simple cash. And then I'm like, it just boom.
That's awesome, man. Well, tell everybody, let's dive into a little bit where you're at now. So that's awesome. That struck a little bit closer to home on your origin story. What's the name of your business? Where are you operating in Georgia now? And just give us a lowdown on how your business is looking here going into the season of 2023.
Okay, so the name of my business is Triple D Lawn Care, and that's for my first and middle and last name, Dante DeLorey, so Triple D Lawn Care. I'm in Hinesville, Georgia. It's just outside of Savannah, Georgia, maybe about 2 hours from Jackson, Florida. I'm on a military base, Fort Stewart.
Okay.
So like some of the people I caught for are all military, which I like it because the military makes sure they keep the houses right. That means they keep me around.
Hey, that's good. It's a good niche way of doing business. Yep.
They ain't going nowhere, so I know and they're just building houses everywhere as we speak. They're just throwing them up quicker than you can do another podcast.
I think you made a good move on moving to Georgia then for your business.
A quick downfall. What happened with it? I sold my house, and I was selling houses when I was out here. So I sold like 4 houses when I came out here. Wasn't doing lawn care, and long story short, I made a bad deal. My partner kind of went rogue on me, snatched all the money, talked to the realtor, got me off the deed. I got kicked out. I was homeless in Georgia for 6 months. Didn't have a job, didn't work at Walmart, didn't have my lawn care business, not even heard of. No one knows me out here. And, I fought some demons in that truck, sleeping in that truck, just thinking, like, what did I do? I just wasted everything. I was too embarrassed to tell people back in Michigan, like, because a lot of kids, everyone look up to me, and I just felt like I was a failure. Finally talked to my uncle, and he's like, Dante, as much as you sitting here crying and pouting, he's like, you need to put that energy into your business. So what I did is I went to the library, just put a flyer, said my logo and my number, and I did like $40, last bit of money I had, and I rolled them up, and I started walking, and I just passed them out for 4 months straight. Slept at a hotel for $25, and I was paying truckers to use their pass to take showers. Got a job at Walmart just to get something rolling, and no one at Walmart knew I was living in my truck and I was homeless. I didn't even think I was going to come to Georgia and end up homeless. And it sounds so embarrassing for me to tell people this now, but it took a lot for me to tell people because, like, a lot of people tell all the good stuff and all the nice stuff about, what they're doing, the business and the cars they're buying, the house they're buying. But, like, everyone that's got the houses and the cars, they all had that moment where they're like, we really messed up. But, like, it's a gamble. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to take that gamble. And that gamble is going to cost you. But that's what we do. We gamble with all of our stuff. Well, then I worked at Walmart, start passing out flyers. And then this is my second season, and I'm at 120 customers now.
120? Whoa. Dude, congrats, man. Well, let me say, number one, I appreciate you sharing your story because you're absolutely right, though. A lot of people like talking about that fresh paint, the new equipment and where they're at now, but a lot of people will try to shy away from the origins if it seems like a little bit more socially challenging when it comes to something like that. I love to hear that, though, because that means you literally started from scratch and now, look, 120 clients, it's more than I got. I mean, do you service those on a regular basis, like on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis? How do you go about doing that? That's awesome, man.
Well, shout out to Yardbook. I've been using Yardbook for like the whole amount of time. It's about 8 years I've been using it, and I never bought the program. I just been using it just to keep my accounts in Michigan. Well, here, it just blew up. And I remember making a post on Facebook saying, George, you're going to know my name. They're going to know my name. So it just blew up. So I use Yardbook, and it keeps everything categorized. And then it shows me everything I'm making. I used to do Cash App, but I was losing so much money last year through Cash App because I was forgetting who paid me. I was cutting people's houses for free, and I didn't know. I was so much. I thought I could remember, and I'd get home, and I'd be so tired, and I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow, and then the next day I would forget like who I. So now I use Yardbook, and the invoices puts everyone there, and if they didn't pay, next time I cut it, they add what. So according to Yardbook, it tells me what I'm making. I can see it all blunt. Like, it's very nice. Like, the money I'm making now, it's crazy compared to what I was making last year, but it's a lot of work.
Well, you're probably capturing and retaining all the money for the work you've been doing, so it feels like you got a raise because it's all organized now through your CRM. It's a customer relations manager. That's what I always like to say that it is, Yardbook. I've always heard good things about Yardbook, and isn't that crazy though? I mean, you literally went from hot to cold. It's like, Sweet Susie. Oh, I love cutting her lawn. She always brings me lemonade, but damn it, I haven't got any money for like 6 months. No, I get it. We've all been there, man. I used to collect, because I got everybody on credit card now, but I'll never forget. And to kind of help, like a little tangent off of exactly that, I used to take checks. At the time when I started, I didn't have Cash App. There wasn't Venmo. There was PayPal, but I didn't want to do that. So I was just taking checks and cash and things like that. And man, in the wintertime, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was in my van, and it was the end of winter, and I needed the money for the wintertime. Season, but we needed that. But then I don't know what I was doing in my van, but I pulled the visor down to do something, and there was like 4 checks up there for like $350, bro, from like a job I did the before. Just like you, I was probably tired. I was probably scatterbrained, and I forgot to deposit them. And now here it is months and months later. So I'm not going to do that to these people. I mean, and they were all one-time jobs. So like you, I didn't have their contact information. I just like left it. So I get it. I feel your pain. And that just shows the importance to having a CRM like Yardbook, Service Autopilot, things like that keeps your business organized for you. And how are you taking payments now, Dante? Are you still doing like the cash and check and things like that, or have you moved to a more modern way of taking payments?
I took this whole winter, and I literally flushed my account out. Like, I literally got rid of 60 customers. I have a paper with everyone crossed off. Like, I'm just like, this is crazy. I'm just crossing everyone off because their accounts were like, either they got their issues where I don't want to deal with it no more, or they're just too low, and the price has to come up. And if they don't accept the price coming up, then they're not my customer. Wow. So then I got rid of them. Now I got rid of the 60 customers. I'm only down to like around 60 customers now, right around there. Something rough. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
They're good. They're good customers, though. They're the kind of customers you want to keep, though.
And then I have I'm back to like almost about 120 now from getting rid of all those customers.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So they're back. I got new ones to replace the ones that I was doing. And the ones now are 60 and 70 on up, where the ones I was doing before were only 35 because I didn't know the pricing out here. And I was at 35. I don't know why it was so low, but I was at 35 cutting. And so now I only take Yardbook. I literally went all winter, and I put everyone in Yardbook. And I have emails. I have all the information, pictures of their house, property size. I literally jumped into it dead winter. Like my girl will tell you, I literally hours. Make sure Yardbook, I idolize everything Yardbook has to offer, because I said I've had this program for this many years and I never took advantage of it. Wow. I used it as a black book, basically, just to keep addresses and phone numbers.
Sure, I get it. Yeah, I did that early on when I first got my CRM. I did the same thing you did. I kind of just used it as keep all my contacts in there. I didn't use it like yeah, I get it, man. And I think a lot of people out there do, because moving from one model or way of doing business that you're used to a different way, a more structured way, I guess it's challenging, because we're lawn guys, we're lawn bros. We're not IT guys. It's intimidating up front, but I'm glad you took the time over the winter to get it all together. And that's also all that information input, all of the adjusting, the prices and all that kind of stuff, man, I get it, dude. I think a lot of us have been there who have done that, but I'm glad that you know your market, you know your numbers, you're just more organized now, and that looks good on you.
Yeah, so I didn't know my numbers, and I didn't realize that Keith Cuffers and Brian, they're always like, know your numbers. And I didn't realize what they're saying when they're like, know your numbers. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just I'm not used to making so much money. I'm just used to making Walmart money. And now I'm having all this money come in. So I was like, well, I got money. So
praise the good Lord, man. That's a good problem to have, man.
no, I got money, so I'm not worrying about it, but I'm not worried about all the money. I'm just like, I guess like, you know, when you're a kid and your uncle's like, do you want $5 or $10? And you're like, I'll take the 5 ones because it's more money, but really the $10 more. So I was, in my head, I believe the lawn care was dangling, oh, you're making money, but I wasn't paying attention to everything in the background. I was just at the moment, I could take care of some of the bills. I had money coming in, but I mean, I had a customer I found, she didn't pay me for the whole summer. And then I finally put it out there and she was like, well, that's not my fault. That's your business. And I'm the one working at Walmart. Customers are always right.
She just straight told you, I ain't going to pay you. Hey, thanks for the service, but I ain't going to pay you.
But it made me a better person because that's what made me jump down and get in the yard and be like, okay, so you're right. I was slacking. That was my fault. I mean, you're not going to pay me. I guess I'm out the whole year. But I'm gonna take what I learned out of that, and now it's never gonna happen again.
Wow.
And now every customer, like, it ain't gonna happen again. Like, you ain't getting past me on the third cut or second cut before that first cut is at least a knowledge. And Yard Book lets you know. So I've learned that Yard Book has been like my rock right now, and I don't want to be too reliable on it. So I double check everything and I keep everything print out. But yeah, I use Yard Book. I do Cash App for like 2 or 3 customers, and then I take checks from like 2 older people because they just like writing checks.
Man, so, hey, you know what? If it's not broke, don't fix it with some people. And the elderly, when writing checks, hey, you know what? As long as it's on time or it's in the right way you want, hey, it's okay. I think a lot of us have those elderly customers that want to write checks, you know?
It's never bounce, and she always is just, she's the old one with the lipstick on the teeth all the time.
That's awesome, man. Well, I have to pat you on the back, Dante, where you took, and I was just it's kind of bad on the humble tumbleweed here, but I was kind of alluding to, wow, she didn't pay you for an entire summer, and I was almost kind of going down the bunny trail of sorrow and oh my God, but you actually used that experience to say, hey, okay, well, that's on me, because you're right. She didn't know to pay you when to pay you. Obviously, she took advantage of what you didn't know, correct? She took advantage of you. But it starts with us. Obviously, if we were invoicing, you were yard booking her the way you needed to, you wouldn't have been in that pickle. But you took that and you grew with that. Now look, you're so much, because of that issue, and I'm sure other issues too in there, that's probably one of several, but that pushed you into disciplining yourself to structure Yard Book and take advantage of it the way you're supposed to. And now look at it. I mean, that's not even a blip on your radar. And like you said, now you're making your cash flow is so much better with working that kind of. So congrats, man. I love to know that. I mean, you grew yourself that way.
Yeah, I'm still working. I'm like, right now I'm just busting anywhere from 7 to 10 yards a day by myself, but you can't find no good help. You can't. No one wants to work. No one. I mean, I put Facebook ads out there. I've told everyone. I even talk to customers, hey, you got anyone want to work? Like, I'll take one person with one arm and a good leg. I'll take them.
You know what? And someone with a good work ethic will get out there and work with one arm, because down here, it's funny you say that. Down here, for years, there's a little Latino crew running around. They've been around for years. One guy, he's running around. He pushes the mower, and I think he's even run the line trimmer. One hand, bro. The other one's gone. So I'm like, you know what? I almost wanted to walk up. I felt kind of sheepish. I almost wanted to walk up and take a picture with him, but I'm like, you don't know me, and I don't want him to, I don't want them to think that I'm trying to be weird, right? But you're right, dude. I mean, it is a challenge. And I know the labor market's always been a challenge, but over the last, 4 or 5 years or so, it's gotten way worse. And it is. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like a rain day, I mean, rain comes, there's nothing you can do about it. What are you going to do to try to help circumvent it? Or what are you going to try to do to help make up for it? But I mean, I get it. I go through the same stuff. And fortunately, I had somebody show back up this year to help to run the truck. And I went through not an ad agency. I went through a staffing agency. My best friend here locally has referred me to, and I was able to find a good one there. But before that, man, it's just been a toggle back and forth. I'm the same way. I have a list just like yours, and I just tell my people. I email them. I get on my CRM when that happens and just say, hey, I'm coming. I may be a few days behind, but I'm solo right now, doing everything I can. But bringing that up, that's a good topic. Do you want to stay solo? Are you growing your business in a way to where you want to make room for other people when the time comes? Or are you just kind of like, well, I want to do my 10 lawns a day and do it like that for a while? What's that look like in your business for you?
Well, actually, on the morning, I was actually thinking about this. I was like, I don't know where the next jump is. So, like, I want to at least have 3 trucks. I want to at least have 3 trucks and be running, but I don't know how to organize it because right now, if I can't even get help, how am I going to get 3 help? How am I going to get 3 trucks? So, like, first I got to figure out the wedge between finding good employees between now and then because, like, I find employees that are either 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you they have experience and then they can work with them and they can't even use the weed eater.
Yeah.
It's cool. But I don't got the time to teach them. See, the last guy I just had 2 days ago, he told me he's worked for a landscaping company. I get him out there, and then and as soon as we get out there, he's like, well, I usually just picked up the trash and picked up stuff. I never used the weed eater. So I was like, okay. I was like, that's fine. Well, then he uses it and he doesn't know what he's doing. He's bouncing around, he's scalping it, and it's like an hour and 40 minutes on one house, and I had to babysit him the whole way. It's cool that he wants to learn, but I don't have the time to teach you. So I gotta figure out how to teach people how to do stuff, but run the business and go. And I feel like I'm a professional company. Like, I never thought I was professional at first, but now I'm a professional. I know the quality I give.
It's awesome, man.
People pay for quality. That means I don't want people look out the window and be like, you had the new guy learning out of my house? No. A lot of these guys pay a lot of money for feeding no yard and weed man, and chemicals.
I've seen your cleanups too, man. You'll get in there and do really good cleanups, and yeah.
They spend money, so like I don't want the new guy. And I mean, I try to go to houses that are like a little bit like they don't really care. They just want to keep the city off their back.
Yeah, tall grass short. Yeah, I get it.
How to teach, but then get work done because I can't afford right now to just be at a house for an hour and a half like yesterday, but then I still got to pay them at the end of the day. So, and then the other one is I got people who work and they're awesome, but they hit stuff, the siding, and then they're like, they're very careless and they don't care. They know that I need the help, so I'm going to keep them. I got rid of them. So I'll do it by myself before I drop my quality.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good way to look at it. You hit the bullseye. People pay for quality. I mean, that's how you're able to get $60 plus on your maintenance accounts, man. Unless they're like quarter acres and bigger, but that's how that's where it starts. I mean, I'd almost rather people take their time and maintain quality because there will be that learning curve. I mean, I have friends both not just in the lawn care business. We've interviewed people with poop scooping in different trades, and I'm going to have one of my clients actually. I'm going to have them come on because they have a successful plumbing company, and I want to ask them about their labor issues and how they circumvent it. But honestly, there's nothing you can really do about it unless you're willing to, like, if you can find good people or even find someone who's not in the lawn care, but if they're showing up, they're willing to work, you're probably just going to have to take time just to train them. I mean, I go through the same thing. It's like, hey, I believe in you. I think you do good. You're showing up. You're showing effort. So I'm going to invest that time of training into you, and I'll pay you for the time. It's an investment, bro. It literally is an investment. And then once you start paying them W-2, then you're paying their taxes and all that stuff. So having employees is literally like, I hate saying this, it's going to sound bad, but I'm just going to say it anyway. It's like having another machine. It's like you get your zero turn, you have your vehicles. It's more than just running and operating them. You got to invest into them. You got to change the fluids out, put new blades on, replace tires, things like that, right? But hey, it is what it is. If you're okay with running on your own, you're making good money, and you want to keep that quality up, maybe start them part-time. But a lot of people want full-time, you know? But you just have to simply set the time aside to do it, and then almost even hover over them. Like these guys I've been running with this last few. Go ahead.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm hovering over them, and it's like I'm babysitting them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel like it looks good to my business as I'm cutting grass, I'm running it, and then I'm literally watching the video to do it, and I just feel like it's not professional.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just an investment, man. Hey guys, you know I'm always looking for awesome ways to help you sharpen your axe of business acuity. That's what we say here all the time on the show. Here for the next few weeks, I am actually going to be doing a drawing at the end of every week, and I want to both support you, my listener, and also friends in the business. We have some awesome books by some friends of our podcast, Brian Fullerton with LaunchpreneurAcademy.com and Paul Jameson with the GreenIndustryPodcast.com. Make sure and check out both podcasts. I think if you haven't already, friends of the industry, founders, and all kinds of stuff. And they've actually developed books from their own life experiences, best business practices, and I just want to be a blessing to y'all and get their word out there. Being that they're friends of the show, I am going to be giving 2 books away at the end of every week, announced here on the podcast and the Lone Star Lawn Talk on Instagram. There's nothing you really need to do outside of follow our Instagram page, and at the end of every week, I'm going to announce by way of drawing who will be the winner of these 2 books, both from Brian Fullerton with his 0 to 100K, and one of the assortment of books that Paul Jameson has already created. So you could spend time either on Audible or in your downtime away from the field to increase your knowledge in the business and to keep sharpening that axe of mental acuity in your business. So remember, that is all you need to do. Head on over to our Instagram page. That is Lone Star Lawn Talk, and just be a follower. And like I said, at the end of every week for the next few weeks, I will be doing a drawing. And hopefully, you will be one of the winners. This is just a simple way we can give back to you so we can see you succeed in your own business. I wish we had these opportunities back when I started 10, 15 years ago. Be blessed, my friends. Back to the show. If you're enjoying the show, please don't forget to leave your personalized stamp of social proofing. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Be listening as I share all 5-star ratings and reviews left on Apple Podcasts at the top of every show. Do you want to be a guest? Is there a topic that you want me to cover with the community? Follow me on Instagram at Lone Star Lawn Talk and shoot me a DM. We can all agree that word of mouth is a top tier way of marketing. Please share the show within your network of friends. Megaphone out to all of those who you know will find value in what we talk about here 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And as always, big old Lone Star thanks. I mean, if you can find people that actually show up, it's just an investment. You got to hover over them, teach them, and then eventually, if they're worth their weight in gold, they'll eventually catch on to it. And then again, like all the struggle you had up to having your 120 clients now, what was the road you took to get to that 120? And now you're using Yardbook, you got good equipment, you got a good route. All that was what? It was an investment, right? Same thing with people. And I've worked with people in times past. I've had 8, 9 people under my employ. I've had several trucks. Now I'm down to owner operator, where I'm just doing it myself, and well, with help. And I'm trying to get back into it. So I'm kind of able to share this with you from, brother to brother in the lawn care trade, because I'm going through the same thing you're going through. And a lot of people listening to this show, they're going to be going through the same thing across the nation. And it's so important that we keep the axe sharp by sharing this information with one another. And I get it. It's not easy. It's not. And if you don't have the tolerance for it, just hang out and maximize your route on your own for a while. And then when you really need someone, okay, let's revisit it. You're going to have train them on a Saturday. Take a couple hours to walk through the equipment, how powerful it is, when you need to rev up, when you need to not rev up, throttling, technique, what direction on every lawn to start to be both efficient, shoot stuff back in the lawn kind of thing, right? So, I mean, again, I'll just leave it with that. Definitely an investment. I ain't going to lie. There's no easy way around it, because if you showed up to work at Walmart in the Bay department, they just threw you out there. Unless you already knew how to do it, you got to get trained, right? But if you weren't catching on, they'd cut you loose and replace you. So it's the same thing, man. I mean, kind of long-winded that for you, but I hope that helps.
No, it was a big help. But so if I had say I had two guys, that actually work, they could basically do the house. And as they're doing the houses, I could take the time and work with them, because the yard's still getting done. And I'm working with him. I'd be like, we're going to hit the back. You guys do everything. We'll just weed eat the back. By the time he gets, and I can have him do backs. And at Walmart, they have other people take the load. When new people come in there and they're learning how to do stuff, the other people are taking the load. Yeah. Till he catches up. I don't have nobody to take the load. It's just me and the new guy. I hate calling him the new guy, but it's like...
Hey, they're new guys. It is what it is.
It's like I don't have no one to take the load. So I like what you said, do the weekend. I'm trying to not work on the weekend, but if...
Yeah, me either. Well, even during the day. I mean, even if you have to stay a little extra longer, I mean...
Go ahead. 10 houses a day, and when I have help, I'm only getting 7 houses done. So if I'm doing 7 houses by myself, why pay them to do what I can do by myself?
I get it. No, I get it. No, I literally, the guy driving my truck right now literally had that same conversation with him earlier in the year. And I'm just honest. It's like, look, unless y'all are producing this, unless you can eventually replace me, and that's everything. That's not just running the line trimmer. That's replacing the oil. That's getting truck maintenance done. That's running the crew. Unless you can do that and take it off my plate, I'll run it on my own. It is what it is.
I can't even get past the weed eater part. My one friend, he owns neighborhood lawns, Carl, and he was like, I do a test. Everyone will tell you what they want. They'll tell you everything. They'll tell you so much stuff like they're trying to date you. I can do the weed eater. I can do the mower. I can do this. I can do this. And then you get to the site, and it ain't nothing what you pictured. So he said,
you can't even turn the thing on.
So what he does is he basically has a weed eater and string, and he gives it to him. And he's like, string this up. If they can string it up, he gets them an idea of how far he has to go to invest in him.
Wow.
If they can't,
okay, that's good.
Can't string it up, he knows we're at 0.
Yeah.
So that's how he determines. But he has a crew too, so he can. Once he knows that, he knows where to put them and how to teach them.
That's a good learning threshold. That's a good way to kind of feel it out. I mean, I never even thought about that. That's a good deal, because I think I'm going to incorporate that. Hey, all right, you say you know how to do this? All right, load that up.
You can load it up. Now you have not, and then they're all different, but they're all the same concept.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I like. Well, this is going to sound embarrassing. Actually, one of my guys years ago, because I ran Echo for years, and there was a speed feeder on the weed eater head, and
I love it.
I think you kind of know where I'm going with this, but years ago, on the Zoom conversation, guys, you can see he already sees where I'm going with this. I was actually taking the head or the shield off of that and replacing the line every single time, and then my worker he knew his way around the lawns too. He was good. He was a good dude. He's like, boss, what are you doing? And I'm like, what? It's work. what? You know? Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir. And he was like, no. Let me show you something. And bro, talk about eating a good, nice slice of humble pie, bro. That was my worker showed me how to load a speed feeder through the center, through the holes there, and then string it out and then wind it. Oh, dude, that was a game-changing moment for me, Dante.
Yeah. I don't know. Carl loves it. I still don't like them. The only thing I like, I use a lot of Eagle now. I'm really liking the Eagle stuff. It's like, I love it.
The Eagle what?
Eagle electric stuff.
Oh, Ego. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'll blame that on Zoom connectivity there.
Yeah. You just hit the button and it brings it all in by itself.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
You put it in, make sure you even hit a button and it feeds it in, and then you go.
Oh, that's neat.
They got one where it always stays the same length. No matter what you hit, it stays the same length.
Hey,
it just automatically knows how to feed and keep it at that length.
So are you running, you mentioned Ego, so are you running, to kind of shift gears there for a second, are you on your equipment, so are you starting to introduce a lot of battery-powered stuff into your arsenal now, or?
I mean, I have the whole arsenal set up. I mean, I got hedge trimmers, I got the weed eaters, I got the backpack blower, I got the handheld blower, I got the carbon fiber weed eater, I got the combi pack set up, I got the chainsaw, I got it all. It's a game changer.
Wow.
I haven't touched my blower in a whole season. It just makes more sense. Grab the battery power, blow off the thing, put it back in. There's no starting, no gas, no mixing, no maintenance, no nothing. The edger, just grab it, go. It's like, it's just the only thing I do like is the weed eater, because the weed eater is backwards on the Eagle, so it's just a learning curve and getting used to. And then it doesn't feel normal. It feels like a kid's toy because it's just electric, so it doesn't sound. But it's powerful. It will do what mine will do all day. I've compared them multiple times, and a battery lasts 5 yards, 4 yards. So 2 batteries a day per the blower, that'll last all day.
And that could kind of be up for debate, because everybody has different size lawns. My size lawn versus your size lawn could be totally different. So I may be able to run on a battery all day.
No, I do big yards. So as long as it's a 5.0 battery, one battery will get you through all day. I cut 10 yards.
Well, that's really cool. I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was actually the next question I was going to ask you. And you already kind of answered it. The comparison between gas trimmer and a battery trimmer, you said it basically has the same power, and it's really not that big of a inconvenience, I guess, having the battery option there, like having to replace it or whatever. Because I know a lot of people that's been me. I say a lot of people, but I've talked with people that agree with me, where it's like, okay, yeah, we'll replace this, and it has all the benefits that you're talking about. It's easier. It's not as difficult, but then there's a whole battery element, and you're saying it's not even a thing for you now.
No, watch. I know your podcast. So with the batteries, you see? That's extension cord. And I have it into the trailer. And every day, every night, all the lights are green. Everything's charged up.
Dude, that's legit, man.
That will last me all day. And then surge there, headphones are charged up, everything's charged up.
That's legit.
So these two aren't worth nothing, but everything I said, it will last. All my steel Eagles over there, electric gas over there, everything's organized. I mean, has never touched them in about a year. I'm still using these. Like, everything is battery, just make.
And for the listener, guys, I'm sorry, Dante's he's taking me through a nice, cool show and tell on his trailer, because we're on the Zoom right now, and
I know.
but anyhow, I think most people know what we're talking about already. So I mean, that's a really cool setup. You really got that structured nicely, And that's really neat that you've made that investment and you're keeping it. You see benefit in the battery powered. It's funny because a friend of the show just had her on, Abigail Frost with Hannah Grace Gardens out in Washington State. She actually moved from Georgia and she's in Washington, and she's moving pretty steadily to like what you got going on, to a battery powered option, and she's really loving it. And you're the second person that I've talked to that has a full arsenal like that. That's awesome, dude.
Well, it's one nice thing about it. It's like, so Steel has it, but like Steel, all their equipment takes different batteries, so you got to buy different batteries. Batteries are $300, $200.
They are.
Where Eagle, everything click and rip, it goes.
Well, that's cool.
You know, it's all the same
I learned something. I didn't know that. I just assumed that Steel, Echo, the ones that they're all the same. I didn't even account for, hey, you got to get separate batteries for X. You can't. They're not universal. They're not interchangeable with all of them. That's good.
Yeah, that's what pushed me away, which Steel, I guess, is a lot more durable than what I'm using now. But I can't tell because my yards are already maintenance. We're just going through. It's not like I'm hacking a ditch out with this stuff. It's just easy maintenance. Cut it, trim it, blow it, go.
Now, I didn't see, do you use mowers on the Ego side too, or is that just your handheld gear?
Oh, I use Gravely.
Okay, cool. Well, that's a good brand.
Yeah, I don't. Eagle's not commercial enough for me yet to hang. I'm not trying to jack their stuff up because I know I ride rough. Like I always say, my videos, if my tools can't hang with me, they're not Triple D approved.
That's awesome.
I
think I'm gonna label the episode. I'm entitled the episode that Triple D approved.
That's what I always do when I cut a house and I tell my customers, I'm like, your house is perfect to go. You're Triple D approved. And she's like, thanks. And then they'll post it like, your yard looks awesome. We're Triple D approved. Like I should get a T-shirt say Triple D approved. Like I always say.
Oh, that's awesome, bro.
Am I really like, Exhibit from Pimp My Ride? You've now just been officially pimped.
Oh man.
So that's what
you're showing off our age there, man. If anybody knows what that is, then that gives you and I's age away for real. For real.
That's why I just always love posting like your Triple D approved, or like it just is a good ring. But no, real talks, I know I got to get the cut and all that. Another thing I did too is I got rid of business cards. I do everything from the little scan queue, whatever it is.
Oh, that's cool. QR code.
And then another tip, when you guys are in a restaurant, when anyone's in a restaurant, take your phone and have your website, and then just go to your phone and put share. And it's going to send it to everyone in that room, if they like it or not.
Whoa. So, okay, let's back up. I want to be sensitive to your time clock here. I got a few more questions for you. But, okay, so repeat that last part one more time.
Okay, so on your phone, you can do a group share.
Group share.
iPhone's different than Android, but they're the same concept. So if you go into a restaurant or a store and you have a picture, and you go to that picture, you can send it to everyone's phone in your radius, and they can either accept it or not accept it, but they have no option. It's going to pop up.
What?
Yep. So
on Facebook or on like an Instagram or something? Or?
Your phone. I would do a YouTube video on it.
What, dude? Oh, that's cool.
When I'm at the kids' soccer game, I do it all the time. So I park my trailer at the soccer game. So everyone sees my trailer when I go to the soccer game. And then I'll sit in the bleachers and I'll go to my website and then I'll hit it. And you just slowly see everyone's looking at their phone.
Oh, genius. Working smarter, not harder. Amen, bro. Dude, that is awesome.
And I got my vest on, and then they're like, did you send this to me? I was like, yeah, I just thought, you're pretty busy with the kids and all that. So, you need any extra help around the house? I thought I'd just shoot it to you. Boom.
My man. Dude, that's cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to pick your brain about that a little further off here. That's pretty neat. I didn't even know you could do that with cell phones.
Oh, I figured it was, I was somewhere at a game and the kids were like sharing some silly little picture, and he's like, and then I seen all the kids looking on their phone, and in my phone, I'm like, how'd you just get this on my phone? So I was like, hey, come here. And then he showed me, and I was like, okay, I don't want you all silly stuff on my phone. Well, then a couple months later, I was like, I can use that to my advantage. And then I went to my website and I did the same thing, and then everyone just starts looking at their phones.
That's dope. I'm today old when I've never heard of that, man. Never heard of that.
Like I said, I'll do a YouTube video. I have so many videos I have to get out. It's just I've been working so hard. I haven't had a chance, but I'm definitely going to do a YouTube video, and you can be like...
Share it with me, and I'll share it with some buddies and try to get that message out there, because that helps out with the density. That helps out with like your local community building that, because that's what we preach here a lot with Naylor Taliaferro and Brian and all this. We all talk about route density, right? And that's key, because if you're doing that at a soccer game, you're doing that at a grocery store or a town center or whatever, that's where everybody just goes into the neighborhoods that you're already at, man. Wow. Well, I appreciate you sharing that nugget. That's a gold nugget, guys. Listen to that. Okay. I'd probably rewind that and listen to it a few different times, guys. Seriously. That's dope. Well, I tell you what, man, I know you made some time for us here today, and we're going to be pushing an hour here pretty soon, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing some of your wisdom. I'm going to go ahead and start, as Brian would say, landing the bird of this, but I do have a few questions for you. I always have a couple personalized questions that I like to, well, I won't say personalized, but personable questions that I like to give my new guests when they come on. So we got to learn Triple D Lawn Service. We got to know Dante as the professional, what you do in your business, and all that. This is a segment of the show where I like to call it getting to know the softer side of the lawn care professional. And basically what it is just a few questions to kind of get to know Dante as the man a little bit better. First one, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite cuisine? If you had a last meal on Earth, what would it be?
If I had the last meal, what would it be?
Yes, sir.
My girl's grits.
Makes a bowl of mean grits or what?
Yeah, I just happened to be with the heart of Georgia. So my girl is straight from a small town, and she knows how to cook some grits. That's a first. That's pretty cool. I'm salivating, because I'll be honest with you. When I go out to eat and we get breakfast, when they have sides, I always say, can I replace that with grits? So if I'm ever going through Georgia, which I know I will, because I have some family that live out there, I may have to hit you up for some homemade grits there, bro. You don't play around with them. Secondly, what's your favorite movie? I know you stay busy. I don't know if you're a TV guy at all. Do you have a favorite cinema? It could be a movie, a TV show, or whatever. What is that, bro? It's going to be action and, any car heist, bank heist, any stuff like that. Like Dead Prez, stuff like that. I like movies that really make you, or I like movies that don't have action, but they make you think. And then at the movie, you're like, boom, that's not what I even thought. Like, I was so thought I had it, and it was not what you even thought it was going to be. I like movies with a really good ending. It's awesome, man. That's awesome. You probably like that one with Gerard Butler, Den of Thieves. I think that's like a bank heist kind of movie, and Heat with Robert De Niro and stuff like that. Yep. And what was that? The Lincoln Lawyer. Yeah, that was a good one. My brother introduced that one to me, and he actually owns that. And if I ever want to watch it, I always go borrow it. I guess you could get anything on YouTube if you wanted, but who owns movies? You just go stream them. You talk about I'm gonna go borrow. I know it. That's what I'm saying. Tell me it ain't VHS, because I don't think they have it in VHS. I'm gonna go borrow it. I mean, there's much time you can watch it by the time you streamed it. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. That's awesome. You're absolutely right. No, that's what I was saying. It's funny because I still have a couple drawers full of DVDs upstairs, and sometimes I'll try to be as efficient as possible, but I'll still revert to my old ways, my old Blockbuster ways. You're a hoarder. It's okay, man. Love it, bro. Last question, man.
something said, something memorable, something that's just kind of stuck with you through life. It could be something said to you, or maybe you said to someone, an event, just something memorable that you've kind of held near and dear to you that kind of shines a light on Dante and that you'd like to share with everyone.
You're only as strong as your word.
It's good. That's
if
good.
You go back and at any time, you ain't shit. I mean, you ain't nobody.
That's good. And it's important to have for the line of work you and I are in.
And that's just in life in general. You want someone to be straight and honest with you, you gotta be straight and honest with them.
It's good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to. I think I might title the episode that. I don't know. That's some good stuff there, man. Well, Dante, that's good word. That's a good ice cream on the Sunday there. So we're gonna go ahead and kick today's episode. We can kick the spurs up on today's episode, and I am so grateful once more for you coming on and joining us here and sharing some of your word and giving your testimony on where you're at in the lawn care community now. Like I said before at the very beginning of the episode, before I let you go, what are all the areas people can find you on right now in social media if they want to follow along with your growth?
Well, I'm so new to all this social media stuff. So like a lot of people like dreaming this and this and all I know is if you go on my Facebook, I got some links on there. I don't know how to even send you guys to the links. I'm still learning. I mean, I'm just learning the whole scanning barcode thing, but my website's on there. You can just everything's mainly on my Facebook. My website, I don't even know how to get on my website. Everyone goes to it. I type my website in, and everyone else's website comes up but mine. But everyone uses my website because they all contact me to it.
Yeah.
So like I'm still learning. So I do apologize that I didn't be like, yeah, there's a link right here and there's a link right here.
It's all good, man. What I'll do is I'll put it in the show notes how I find you, and I'll just put that in there. If I can find your website, I'll put that in there too.
My website, I can send you all the stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's fine. And then what we'll do, guys, is we'll put, what's that?
I know where they're all at. I don't know how to I don't know. There's a bunch of links, there's a bunch of words and a bunch of numbers and stuff. So it's like, I don't remember.
Dude, it's just copy and paste, man. I'll figure it out and we'll just make that available for everybody. That's your job. You're doing your job the best way you know how to do, and you're making the money mowing the lawns. You don't need to worry about a lot of that stuff, man. That's how I see it. It's as long as traffic's coming and the sales funnel stay full and people are finding you, who cares, man? You're good. You keep going.
I always ask people like, how'd you hear about me? Because then if they tell me where they hear about me, then like I was marketing here, I was marketing here, I was marketing here, and I was marketing there. But if everyone's like, I'm hearing you from here, I can quit wasting my energy over here, here, and here, and start focusing on here and breaking it out bigger. Gotcha. So that always, where'd you hear about me? Where'd you hear about me? I always ask everybody.
It's awesome. So are you going to go out and go knock out we're at the top of the day. You still going to try to get out and knock out a handful of lawns or what?
I'm going to get out there and get it hot. Sure, it's going to get happening.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Dante, you're awesome. Thanks for taking the time to come on here and spend some time with the Humble Tumbleweed here on the Lone Star Lawn Talk, brother.
All right, man. We
appreciate it. Well, guys, that is Dante DeLorey. Thank him so much for taking the time to come on here and
DeLorey.
Oh, Dante DeLorey. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Dante DeLorey. Forgive me. That's just what you get over here, man. I don't know what to tell you. But, hey, again, appreciate you. Listener, I appreciate you for taking the time to letting us be a part of your daily and weekly listen. And like I said, I'll have all those tags from Dante's business there in the show notes. And until next time, guys, y'all keep those axes sharp. May the good Lord bless you. See you on the next run.
This has been the Lone Star Lawn Talk Podcast. We hope you've had a fulfilling experience in today's listen. Don't forget to tell the world what you think by leaving a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcast content from. Stay vigilant, friends, and keep that axe sharp.